Hello, good evening, and welcome to today's episode of Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu, and it's an honor to have you with us on this program today. It's been an excellent week. It's been a great week. There's so much I could tell you about this week, but I won't take your time because tonight's program is a big one. It's going to be a great one. I can assure you that. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Fatima, for joining us. I want to start by apologizing for the advertised topic that we should be looking at today, which is to do with reproductive medicine with Dr. Daniel Imoideme. Due to some administrative development, we are not able to do that today, but I can assure you it has a guarantee that next week, Thursday, we will have Dr. Imoideme on this program. So please accept my apologies. It is something that is unavoidable. That's why he cannot be with us today. But like I said, next week, without a shadow of a doubt, God willing, we will all be together. We will be with him and he will be with us, and he will bring his word of knowledge, his word of wisdom, his experience, his expertise, his counsel to us as a team, as a group of people. Because when you talk about reproductive medicine, it's an area where a lot of people have issues that need help. They need help. And Dr. Imoideme will be on hand next week to offer this wonderful, wonderful help that we all need. So please bear with us. Next week he'll be here. On today's program, we are going to look at something that a lot of people don't perhaps want to talk about, don't want to look at, don't want to even consider. But just because we don't want to talk about it or we don't want to consider it doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. It's inevitable. We will all have to go through it, pass through it, handle it, deal in it. So it is something that we can't run away from forever. On today's program, the title for today is Become a Better Man. Write your own eulogy. Become a better man. Write your own eulogy. Now, when you talk about eulogy, immediately what comes to mind is burial, memorial. It means somebody has gone home to be with the Lord, and now we want to talk about the person. We want to remember the person. We want to appreciate his or her life, and we want to let other people know how much of his or her life has touched us and has affected and impacted us. So when people hear the word eulogy, especially when I'm saying you have to write your own eulogy, it gets scary. It gets scary. But the truth is, I think it's William Shakespeare that said, coward dies many times before their death, but valiant never taste of death but once. There are two things in life that are guaranteed: the day we're born and the fact that we will die. In fact, the Bible said it is appointed for a man to die. It didn't say when it will be, how it will be, where it will be, with whom it will be. But irrespective of all those factors, it is appointed for man to die. So when we talk about death, a lot of people are so afraid of it, as if it's going to happen immediately. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but at the same time, it doesn't mean we need to run away from it, because, like we said, it's inevitable. Buki Adeoshan, thank you. Olanike Oyekachia Dexa, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing it. So when we talk about death, especially when you're a Christian, for me, death is one of the best things that can happen to a Christian. The reason I say that boldly and with full confidence, it's because we all want to go home and be with the Lord. Apostle Paul said, to me, I would like to go and just hang out with the boss, with Jesus. But for your own sake, I would rather be here so that I can help you perfect your journey towards being with him. So death is a transition. It's a bridge that translates us that we walk on from this side of temporary life, temporary things, to a life of eternity, a life that is permanent, a life that is far, far better, far, far greater than anything else we could experience here. So when we talk about death, we should not be afraid. We should not be scared. We should not think, oh, that's a taboo. Oh, don't talk about death. No, please, let's relax. Let us just examine our lives. The Bible talks about pondering the path of our lives. Let us take an audit of our lives. Let us examine, where is my life going? Who am I affecting? What impact am I making here on earth? Who am I adding value to by my being here? Ngozi, thank you for joining us. Uncle Joe, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. These are things that we must think about. These are things that we must consciously put in front of our eyes and examine and look at, because ultimately, irrespective of how long you and I live here on earth, a day is coming. A day is coming when we're going to close our eyes and won't be able to open it again. A day is coming when the noise will go out to say so person has gone home to be with the Lord. And at that time, there is nothing you can do to change the history, to change the legacy, to change the effect, to change the landmark that you have made here on earth. So in order to help us, in order to give us the opportunity to re-examine our lives and ask ourselves some of these thought-provoking questions that we ordinarily wouldn't want to talk about, would rather not even think about, why not talk about it? Why not think about it? Why not do something about it, so that on that day when somebody will stand to read your eulogy, to read my eulogy, it won't be something that they are making up. It won't be something that they are thinking about. It will be exactly a representation of who we are and how we have lived our lives. So today's program is pertinent. Today's program is so crucial because when I was preparing this, there was a thought that was in my head saying, what has writing your own eulogy got to do with becoming a better man? And immediately the Holy Spirit ministered to me and said, it has everything to do with becoming a better man, or a better woman for that matter, because it helps you. It will spur you into action. Whatever irrespective of how you and I, we've lived our life till now, this perhaps is a junction that we have come to this evening, where we need to take stock, where we need to ask questions, where we need to examine and challenge ourselves to make a difference in this life and in this earth that God has given us the privilege to be on. And that is why on tonight's program, let me say it upfront, the task for this week is for you and I to go home, to sit down and write our own eulogy. Write our own eulogy. And tonight we're going to go through what's a eulogy, what does it mean, what's included in it, how to write it, what are some of the things that, for the fact that we're still alive, we need to immediately put into action so that it can help us in writing our eulogy, and it can help the people that we will leave behind to be able to have a good and an accurate representation of who we were while we're here on earth. Buki, thank you for joining me, and thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you. Kenny Disu, thank you also for joining, sir. I honor you and your time. Thank you. So, what is a eulogy? What is a eulogy? What is a eulogy? When you hear the word eulogy, what does it mean? I know we have all seen it. Some of us have even had the privilege to read it, to say it, to recite it at some people's funeral. So when we say eulogy, what is a eulogy? A eulogy is a speech or a piece of writing that praises someone or something highly, especially a tribute to someone who has just died. A eulogy is a speech, it's a poem, it could be a piece of writing, it could be a piece of poetry, it could be a piece of sermon that is written to praise someone who especially someone who has just gone home to be with the Lord, or somebody who has just died. So when we describe and define eulogy as that, what are we talking about? In a nutshell, in summary, what is a eulogy? A eulogy is a catalog of accolades, encomium, tributes, testimonials, commendation, homage, praises of somebody whose natural life has come to an end. And all we are left with here on earth are the memories of that person, are the history, the legacy, the sample, the effect, and the impact that their life has had on us while they were here on earth. So eulogy is something that is, let me put it this way, it's a summary of what your life is, or what that person's life is, to the person that is reading it or reciting it. And that is why you could have 2-3 people give a eulogy at a funeral, and the 3 of them might have some similar traits and characteristics of the person that has died, but yet there will be distinct differences in some of the reports, in some of the statements, in some of the effects of that person's life, of the dead person's life, in the life of the person giving the eulogy, because it is individual, it is pertinent to you as a person that is giving the eulogy. So eulogy is an accolade, it's an encomium, a tribute, a testimonial. The praise, the commendation is paying homage to somebody because of their life and the effect that their life has had on us while they're here on earth. So by me saying you need to write your own eulogy, well, you're still living, so you could be asking, Tunde, please slow down. I'm alive. I'm not dead. I'm not planning to die. In fact, I'm going to live till Jesus comes forever. So what is all this about eulogy? It is a checkpoint. Tonight's program is meant to be a checkpoint. It's meant to be a call to action. It is meant to be a reference point, a point in time in your life and in my life where we can hold break, slam the brake as it were, and ponder the path of our life up till now. And if we look down the history lane and we're not happy, we're not too satisfied with what we see as the legacy, as the history so far, tonight is an opportunity for us to start to rewrite that history. Hi, Tade. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Samson Chijoke, thank you, sir, for joining me. Tonight is meant to be a checkpoint, a toll gate, a point of reference where you stop and you start to ask questions. but not just asking questions, but you do something about the questions that you are asking. The essence of asking a question is to get an answer. And if the answer you are getting is not satisfactory, then you rewrite that exam. You take that test again. And tonight is an opportunity for all of us to look at our report cards. And if we're not happy with the result that is showing on it, to sit down and rewrite the test so that in the process of that, we can consciously, intentionally, and purposefully choose to become better men and better women, so that the legacy that will be that we will create between now and the end time will be exactly what we want and how we want it. I don't know if this is resonating with you. I don't know if you buy into this that I'm trying to sell. If you agree with some of the things I'm saying, please, I would like to hear from you. I need you to say something. Do you think this is making sense? Do you think this is, or is this just Tunde's had too much cheese last night kind of a talk, or what? I just want to hear from you. What do you think about this idea of you and I taking a step to write our own eulogy? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining me, and my regards to your family. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. So please tell me, what do you think about writing your own eulogy? Roslyn Amaka Shade Banjoko, thank you for joining and thank you for sharing. If you have not shared this program, please let's go and click the share button so that we can make it available to other people who probably might not be on hand to be with us on the platform today. Let me try and paint a picture. Assuming you and I can have what I can call out-of-body experience. I know this is sounding gooey and a lot of people are feeling uncomfortable, but please ride with me on this. Trust me, we will arrive safely. Trust me on this. Assuming you can have an out-of-body experience and you could stand in the corner of a room, invincible, where people can start to talk about you. Tade said, yes, sir. Amalabake, thank you. Femi Akerele, thank you. Where you could stand and hear what people are saying about you. Imagine the faces of the people in that room. Imagine the response, the way they are responding to the fact that you are no more with them. How do you think that would go? Because this is the essence, or one of the essence of tonight's program. For you to stand like a fly on the wall in that room and watch what people are saying, what they're doing, and how they are handling the shell of where you live. What would you like to hear? What would you like to see? Who would you like to be there? How would you like them to handle you? How would you want them to remember you? So in considering your eulogy, in considering what will be the content of your eulogy, ask yourself these two questions. Number one, what story or conversation or event do you think will come to people's mind immediately when they remember the fact that you are no longer with them? What conversation, what story, what event will spring to their mind almost immediately? Dami Awoshika, thank you for joining us. And then ask yourself, the things that they will be saying. Hey, Pastor Chris, thank you, man, for joining us. The things that these people will be saying, will those words that they're using, the choice of the word they're using, the phrases, the activities they're remembering about you, will they bring comfort to your family to hear them talk about, oh, he so, he was this, he could do that, he did this for me, he did this to me, he helped me here, he withdrew his hand of favor from me here. How will that bring comfort to your family, knowing that you have just passed on to be with the Lord? You see, the answer to these two questions, the way you are able to answer these two questions, will go a long way to help you answer your own question. And that your own question is, what is my life up to? What value is my life adding to others? In what areas am I being a blessing to somebody else? How am I living my life? Because you can't live your life in isolation. You live your life in constant contact with other people, rubbing them either good way or bad way, interacting with them at home, at work, at church, at play, on the street, in the bus, on the coach, in the train, everywhere you go. What is your, thank you, Pastor Chris Ogedegbe said, what is my life up to? What is the sum total of my life? Because until you are able to answer that question, when you are the fly on the wall, when you are the invincible spirit in the corner of that room, hearing what people are saying, seeing how people are reacting, listening to silent conversations between two people about you, you want to go back into that body and get up and start living a different life. Or you will want to say, do you know what, if that's all he said about me, I'm ready to go home. I am ready to go home. Consideration for the people that you are going to leave behind and what they will hear people say about you should help you to know how to live your life. Not that I'm saying you live your life just so that they can be happy. No. Let your life count. Do something with your life that will be a legacy, that will be a testimonial of the fact that you live here on earth. Pastor Margaret Motizwa, thank you for joining us. You see, when people when people give a eulogy about you, when they say something at your funeral, in most cases, if not in all cases, they don't remember your degree. They don't talk about your degree. They might remember that you worked in so place, but not the work. It is what you do, what effect you use that work to have on people's life that they will remember. So your eulogy is not your resume. It's not your CV. It's not your curriculum vitae. It's not about how they got this degree. I know some people do that, but it doesn't add value to anybody. Yeah, you got a Cambridge and Oxford and Yale and Harvard University. So what? With all of that, if your life has not been adding value to anybody, you could have all the D's in this world after your name. It still don't make a difference. So I'm challenging us tonight to take stock of our lives, to challenge ourselves, to say, if right at this very minute, at exactly 25 minutes past 8, if I am to write my own eulogy, what will it contain? What will it say? What will people say about my life? It is appointed for a man to die, We don't know what time, what day, where, and when. And like we've said, there is no spare life. This is the only one we've got. Death is something all of us have imagined at one time or another. But if you have not imagined it, I'm praying for you. Abraham, King Fregene, thank you for joining us. At some point or the other in our lives, we've all thought about death. In fact, if not almost every time we're thinking about death. And if we're doing that, what would it look like for you to die, for me to die, and attend our own funeral? If you die, how will it be for you to turn around and attend your own funeral? Who will be there? Who will be in attendance at your funeral? You need to ask yourself. I need to ask myself, who will be in attendance at your funeral, at my funeral? How many people will come? It's just you and your immediate family, your dog, your cat, and your chicken? Or with the whole village, the whole town, the whole nation at large? Would they rise up because you've gone home to be with the Lord? Will someone that you thought is very close to you, will that person be absent? And how would that make you feel if that person that you thought all along, this is my best of the best of friends, and for whatever reason, they are now absent at your funeral? How would that make you feel? What would the people be saying, openly or secretly? What would be the silent conversation that's going on? Will it be a case of good riddance to bad neighbor? Or will it be we've lost a gem in this person? This whole world has become poorer because so person is no longer in it. These are things we need to think about. And that is why we all need to become better men and better women. Because this, at the end of the day, it will be the sum total of your life and my life. Hey, Emmanuel Eulogy Disu, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, sir. What will people remember about your life and how you treated them? What will people remember about your life? That's your classmate in primary school, in secondary school, at the university, your roommate, that's your colleague at work, that's your friend in the social club, that lecturer, that person that you always meet together at the bus station in the morning when you're going to work. What will they be saying about you? What will be your legacy? How will people eulogize you? How will they eulogize you? What would they say about you? In order for you to excuse me. In order for you to have a good answer to these questions, the following will be the determining factors. If you want to know the answer to the questions we just asked, the following will be the determining factors. Excuse me. What are some of your fondest memories in life? And who did you share them with? What are some of your fondest memories in life and who did you share them with? What do you value most in life? And is it obvious to others that come rain, come shine, high or low, day or night, the most valuable thing in your life and in my life is this, and everybody around you, about you, they know it, what would that be? Because if you don't have that, this is an opportunity for you to create one, to find it, to cherish it, and make it obvious to everybody around you that, as far as my life is concerned, this is the most valuable thing in my life. What are some of the character traits that people admire about you? What are some of the character traits that people admire about you? Would they say he was an honest man, straight as a needle, forthright, man of integrity, a man of his word, a helper, a servant, a trustworthy friend, a friend in need who is a friend indeed? Is this what people would say or remember about you, or the opposite? What are your talents that you possess? And who is benefiting from them? What are some of the gifts that God has given you, and who is benefiting from them? What is that one topic that you always like to talk about? We all have that one topic that is right there on top of your lips. At every given point in time, you want to talk about it. What is it for you? Is it your work? Is it your spouse? Is it your family? Is it your children? Is it your service to your country? Is it your faith? What is that one thing that people will always remember? If you go to Tunde, you can be sure he's going to talk to you about about this, about that, about that. What is that one topic that is constantly, permanently on your lips? Because the Bible says, where a man's treasure is, there his heart will also be. And when something is your treasure, you talk about it a lot. You hang around it a lot. Hey, my sister, Bola Shukra, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, man. God bless you. Thank you. What makes you smile? What makes you hungry? What gets your engine revving? What is this? Something that can easily demoralize you. You see, all these things are what people are seeing, are perceiving, and experiencing about you, about me. And ultimately, when that day comes for them to give an account of who you were here on earth, guess what? Those are the things they'll be telling you. Oh, that man is a very good man. Just don't touch his bicycle. Oh, he's a wonderful, wonderful man. But whatever you do, don't talk about. What is it that is so consuming that in the midst of all your accolades and achievements and benefits to human beings, there's that one thing? I know it may sound unpleasant to talk about dying and death, but we must all confront our mortality from time to time. We must all confront our mortality from time to time. Yes, you are born again. Yes, I'm born again. We are heaven bound. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And if you are not born again, why not give your life to Christ? Accept him as your Lord and Savior, so that you too can be guaranteed the life of it that you can live and will live with him in eternity. But in order to cross that bridge, it is appointed for a man to die. You will have to die. I will have to die. I know the world and the society we live in, they try to make death look like, ooh, don't talk about it. We will all die one day. And a lot of people are living in a state of denial, as if death, they have struck a contract or an arrangement with death that whatever you do, you won't. It's not true. You can live for 120 years or longer, or for 280 years or whatever. A day is coming when you go down 6 feet underground, or you be a bowl of ashes on somebody's mantle in their house. So death is something that we will all experience. The question is, what legacy would you leave? What legacy would you leave? When we acknowledge the fact that we are going to live, it helps us to concentrate on each day that we are alive and make it count. I'll say that again. When you come to the point, when you and I come to a point where we acknowledge and accept the fact, the truth, that a day is coming that we will die, it will help us to concentrate on every given day that God is giving to us, to let that day count for something. And every day you do that, every day that I do that, we are together becoming better man and better woman. And that is the purpose of this program tonight, is to help us realize that a day is coming, a day of reckoning is coming. A day is coming when it will be too late to do anything. And that realization that that day is coming should spur you and I into action, should bring us to a point where we want to live every day getting better, improving on where we were yesterday. And as we do that, we become better men and we become better women. May God help us. So, let me ask again. How is this tonight? How is this program? Everybody's gone quiet. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to have some feedback from you about what we're discussing tonight. So I'd like to know, how do you think I'm telling the truth? Do you think this is reality? Do you think this man needs help? Somebody call his wife. Let me hear from you. Say something. And if you have not shared this program, go ahead. Let's go and share it. Because it's gonna help somebody. The alarm bell is gonna go ringing in somebody's head when they listen to this program, when they watch this program, to realize that day of reckoning could be there tomorrow. That day of reckoning is right at hand. We must do something about today. It is a gift. That is why it's called the present. Dami Aoshika said, very true. This is the truth and needs to be taught. I'm telling you, it is the truth. Because we can live as if it won't happen. Hey, it will happen. It is happening. As we're talking, as we're on this program, some people are drawing their last breath. And once that is done, job done. Job done. So since I have said that tonight, the task for this week is for you and I to go and write our own eulogy. And considering what we've said so far, I think it's just reasonable that we look at how to write this eulogy. I know it's your eulogy, it's my eulogy, but it is good for us to then know how to write a eulogy. The best and the easiest way to write a eulogy is to have a chronological eulogy that is sequential, that is, especially because you are writing your own, it will be better for you to write it in a sequential order. What do I mean by that? Sit down and imagine that you are living till you are 120 years old. Kudos. But after that, should Jesus tarry, then you're going home to be with him. In writing your eulogy, therefore, I need you to imagine that today, the 1st of June 2017, is the date when you turn 120 years old. And this is your life, exactly the way you hope to live it. So you are now giving an account. So in writing your eulogy, you want to ask, you want to remember, where were you born? Where did you live? Did you live in that same town where you were born? Or did you travel across the land or the earth? Did you live in a faraway place? Did you move every year or every now and again? Were you a nomadic person who is constantly moving? At what point and where, in what town or village or community were you when you retire from work? What were the love? What is the love in your life? Who is your spouse, your children, your grandchildren? These are things you need to constantly be thinking about as you're writing your eulogy. Then go ahead and jot down some memories of yourself. What were your hobbies? What did you enjoy doing in your teenage years, in your young adult life, and when you're an adult, when you grow older, and eventually you grow older and you retire? What are some of the hobbies or the things that you enjoy doing? What did you enjoy doing with your family? What kept you busy in retirement? Now that you're retired, what are those things that is keeping you busy? Because in the midst of all of that, you are spending life. And your life, the life that you are spending, must be accounted for. It must be accounted for. What kind of relationship did you have? Or relationships, rather, did you have? Did you marry your high school sweetheart? Did you marry that lady that you saw and you knew this is it? That man that kept you busy and knocking on your door, almost stalking you when you were in secondary school, is that the man you eventually married? Or is it that man that you saw, love at first sight? What's your love story? Did you even marry at all? Hey, you're allowed to come in. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Did you get married? How many kids did you have? How many grandkids did you have? How many friends did you have? Who are your friends? Are they few or many? Or do you just live a Billy no mate life? These are things that you need to think about as you spend every day of your life. Because each and every of these is a brick or a block in building your life. And the shape, the size, the feel, and the color, and the features of those bricks and blocks would eventually determine your life. Adekombi Adegbero, thank you. Jockey Royal Makeover, thank you. Asinde, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Where did you go to school? What school did you attend? Primary school, secondary school, college, university? What did you study? What's your major? Because these are things that you will use to help and be a benefit and be a blessing to others. Where did you work? Did you work for the same company from day one to day retire? Or do you constantly move, or you move at regular intervals? What are your accomplishments at different stages of your work life? Whether you are self-employed, or you are an employee, or you are an employer, what are some of the story of your work life? What will people say is the most memorable about you? What will be the most memorable aspect of your life? Is it your sense of humor or the lack of it? Is it the fact that you are a very good cook or the fact that you can't boil water? Is it your insatiable love for adventure, your passion for outdoors? Is it your unshakable faith in your God? Is it your never-ending demonstration of your love for your spouse, your children, and your children's children? What is the outstanding, stand-alone, memorable aspect of your life? What was it about you that people admired the most? Is it your unwavering loyalty to friends? Is it your honesty, your integrity, your temperance, your ability to listen, your ability to empathize, your ability to reach out and touch the untouchable, your willingness to put yourself, your life online for other people? What is it that people will remember the most about you? What do they admire the most about you? Is it your work ethics, your love for your family, your love for your country? Is it your patience or lack of it? Is it your leadership skills or your inability to lead anything? What are those things about you that will stand out? Because if you don't have that up to this stage, now is a wake-up call for you to start working on them. So that on that day, when we stand over your casket, we will have something to say about you. Hi, Louis Oburo. Thank you for joining me. Here's another thing to consider. What will people miss the most about you? Hey, gift, blessing, thank you. What will people miss the most about you? Is it your creative homemade gifts? Your ever wonderful no two are the same Christmas card that you handmade and handwritten? Is it the fact that you're a good listener? You're never too busy to listen to people. You're always there. Your shoulder is broad. It takes on anybody and everybody. What is it about you that people will miss the most? If your absence does not create a vacuum, it means your presence was never relevant. If your absence does not create a vacuum, it means your presence was never relevant. Oh, I don't know if this is helping anybody. This is helping me, seriously. It's helping me to rethink what's the meaning of life. When it's all said and done, where do we go from here? What is the answer to life question? What is life? Oh. Let me say this. People bring blessing to your life either by their coming or by their going. Fema Kerele says, hi, it is helping me. Thank you, sir. People come into your life. People are a blessing to you, either by their coming into your life or by their living your life. Every human being that you come in contact with is either adding value to you or is subtracting value from you. And the natural instinct of a human being is that those that add values to us, we appreciate them, we love them, we draw them even closer. Those that drain values from us, we avoid them, we repel them, we stay away from them. Irrespective of whether they add or they subtract value, your life is affecting that person or those two people in one way or another. And guess what? On that day when you are laid in state, they will both have something to say about your life, about my life. The question is, what would they say? How would they say it? Would they say it with passion from their guts? Or would it be just a superficial, let's say it so that nobody will say we didn't come? Ladies and gentlemen, life is short. Life is very short. And whatever or however we live it is what would determine what people will say. Dami Awoshika said, definitely helping. This is a message that you meditate on and think deeply about. It covers vast aspects of our life. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Because we can be, it is easy for us to live like as if there's no tomorrow. It's easy for us to live as if we will never die. It's easy for us to live as if it's only me, myself, and I. But every day that passes, every day that we spend here on earth, we are interacting, consciously or unconsciously, physically or not physically. We are interacting with other human beings. We are interacting with other elements on earth. And with each interaction, we are making a deposit or a withdrawal. We are either adding values or we are subtracting values. And that is why it is so crucial, it is so important that we must take stock. We must stop and challenge ourselves to say, what is the sum total of my life? What difference is my life making? Is my life adding values or is it subtracting values? So this week, the task for this week is simple. Well, it's not simple. You need to look yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself some of the questions that we have raised tonight. Challenge yourself to answer them truthfully and sincerely. You know, you are the most trusted person that you know. You are the most trusted person that you know. So if you are being deceptive with yourself, you will know that this is not cutting it. So I need us to go away this week and really think deeply about our lives. What value, what benefit Who are we helping? What difference is our lives making here on earth? And if for any reason we can't find anything significant that our lives have contributed, contributed to this platform, to this planet rather, tonight is a wake-up call. Let's do something about it. Let us go and do something about it. Because ultimately, the purpose of this platform is that when we arrive at that destination, you will not need anybody to tell you. I will not need anybody to tell me. We will both know that we have been transformed from glory to glory. We have become better men and better women because our lives have been spent on purpose to make a difference, to challenge the status quo and push and refuse to give up, refuse to cave in, refuse to pack it in, but make our lives be a beacon of light in this dark world. Let us go and live every day with the understanding that this could be my last day. So what am I going to do to leave a good record from today going on? Hi, D. Bryce. Thank you, ma. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Let your life count. Let your life have meaning. Let your life and my life. We need to challenge ourselves to live a life that is benefiting. Let our lives count. Because that day of reckoning is coming. When you will have an out-of-body experience, hanging in the ceiling as it were, looking down on your corpse and hearing what people are saying and seeing the people that are turning up and observing their mannerism. What legacy would you leave? What would you like to hear? What would you like to see? Because that is what will determine whether your life has meaning or not. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I know tonight is very solemn. Hey, Dr. Ologwebe, thank you, man, for joining us. I know tonight's program is very solemn, it's very deep, it's uncomfortable. Thank God for that. Because in order for anything to become better, it has to go through some form of pressure. You can't bend a metal until you put it in fire and burn it and cook it and heat it to where it has become soft. Then you can bend it to the shape that you want. Somebody said you cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. So tonight's program is about self-assessment, self-auditing, self-challenging, self-scrutinizing, asking yourself, as I'm asking myself, what is the sum total of my life? And what would people say about my life? Especially when I'm not able to stand up and defend myself or make excuses like I've been doing while I'm alive. Hi, Hope Monday Ekanem. Thank you, sir, for joining us. So tonight, or rather for this week, let us all go and write our own eulogy and see what the content is. And if you don't like the result, if you don't like the outcome, using some of the guidelines that we've enumerated tonight, if you're not happy, totally hand on heart, happy with the outcome, you have an opportunity right now to make a difference, to change the story, to rewrite the story, to wipe the slate clean and start all over again about how you want to be remembered. My prayer is you and I will have the courage, the stamina, the conviction of heart to be truthful with ourselves. Because unless we're truthful with ourselves, it's just going to be another exercise in futility. But I trust that something that has been said tonight has ministered to you, has resonated with your heart, and you and I are going to go away and carry out this task so that it becomes a roadmap on this our whole glorious journey of becoming better men and better women. Like I said at the beginning, next week, Dr. Emoideme will be with us on this platform as we revisit the issue of reproductive medicine, IVF, fertility, infertility, impotence, erectile dysfunctional, everything for the issues with men and women. For the whole of this month, Dr. Emoideme will be with us talking about not just men, but men and women. What are the causes? What are the ways to prevent it? What are the ways to treat it? What is there any alternative to some of these things? All these are what Dr. Emoideme will cover on this platform, starting from next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. I can't wait. Hey, Femi, how are you, sir? I can't wait for his presence to be with us on this platform, because I remember the last time he was here, we had a party. We had a great time, and I'm looking forward to it. So until next week, when we meet again, as we re-examine, as we look again into the mirror of how to become a better man and how to become a better woman. This is Tunde Disu, appreciating you and your time, your willingness to be part of this life-changing journey of discovery. I honor you, appreciate you, I love you with all of my heart, and I say thank you for your time. So until next week, don't give up, don't cave in, because the destination is become a better man and a better woman. Oh, Christine Gaga, thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next week. Please, let's go and share the program. And Nessie Chukwumerije, thank you. Femi, thank you for your time and your words of exaltation. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, sir. I honor you. Thank you. Thank you, Mommy Katie Moideme. Thank you, ma. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, sir, for this awakening message. I'm blessed. Thank you, ma. I'm blessed too. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate you. Ifeoma Chinedu, thank you. Wow. I appreciate all of you. Please, let's go and share this program. Let's go and share this tonight's message. Let's go and share it. It's an awakening call. It's an alarm bell for us to re-examine the true meaning of the life that we live. Thank you, God. Oh, good news, Patrick. Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you, all of you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you. God bless you. Hope. I appreciate you. God strengthen you and your family too. Thank you. Appreciate you. It's an honor to have all of you. Thank you, Ifeoma Chinedu, for sharing. I appreciate you. If you have not shared it, share this program. Let's quickly click the share button and let's make it available to others and have a footprint of it on our own timeline. And until next week, we're not stopping. We refuse to stop until we arrive at the destination called better man and better woman. This is Tunde Disu signing off to say, God bless you. Have a great week.